Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's only me again, and welcome to another metal detecting video. So today is a Sunday. It is absolutely freezing today. It's about 2 or 3 degrees. I'm out with the infamous Mr Tweed, i.e. Sam, and we are both freezing our nuts off. It is so cold. It's December now, so we're on the run up to Christmas, so we expect it to be cold. We can handle that. But anyway, we are in a brand new field today. It's a relatively new permission. You might remember the video on my channel where I went into the pasture field with some of the old ruins in. Well, this field is a few fields adjacent to that permission, and what we did, a bit of online research, was found that in here is a possible old enclosure, possibly a ringed ditch enclosure, and it could be of any potential date, dating from the early Bronze Age all the way up to the Roman period. So it's a glorious pasture field. The grass is definitely detectable. It could have been nicer, but it's certainly detectable. And me and Mr Tweed have got all day today to try and investigate what we find. Hopefully we find some good bits, and obviously pose the question, can we date this feature? So that leads me to say thank you very much for watching my videos as always, and do hit a thumbs up if you like the video. It does mean a lot to me. It keeps egging me on and obviously encourages me to make more content for you. And I also just want to say a huge thank you to the people that have bought me a coffee. That being Tom the Bigfoot. He has the YouTube channel Bigfoot Finding, so go and check that out guys. And Lewis Knight as well. Really thank you guys for doing that. It means a lot to me. I did get a coffee on the way, but unfortunately I've drunk it now. But the messages that you guys left were absolutely brilliant, so I can't thank you enough. And obviously it just encourages me to go out, make more videos like this, freeze my butt off, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you again guys. If anybody else wants to buy me a coffee, the link will be up here in the corner, and I will give you a special mention on my next video. But as for talking, that's enough for today. We've got a long day ahead of us, a long cold day, but let's get digging. Okay guys, so I've got my very first target in the new field here. Just put my spade in, so I thought I would do a live dig for you all to see. Probably going to speed this bit up though, because let's face it, nobody really wants to watch somebody on YouTube dig a hole in the ground. So here we go guys, first hole, let's see what we get. Okay, so my very first find in this new field is in fact a coin, which I'm pretty surprised about because it was quite a sort of scratchy signal, but I suppose it was a good 7 inches down, which might explain why. But yeah, it's a coin. Couldn't really tell you what type of coin this one is unfortunately though, but it does look like a relatively modern coin. I don't think we're dealing with anything ancient here, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get too much up even if we clean it up. But I'm pretty chuffed that there's a coin in here because, you know, this field is quite far away from anything really, so it's nice to know that there are people in here, and hopefully there's going to be a few more, so let's keep going. Okay guys, so I've had another target, making a sweep relatively close to where I put my bag down. Had quite a strange little target. It was a sort of mix between a grunty iron type signal and quite a nice little sharp high hitter. Dug it out, and I'm not overly sure what it is, but my gut instinct says that this is a football stud, like off a football boot. Why would a football boot stud be in a field like this in the middle of nowhere? It might not be one, but it certainly does look like one. It's got the very stereotypical sort of bell shape to it. It's not sharp, it's enough to just dig it into the ground to give you a little bit of grip. And of course it's got that bit on the top there which would have tucked in nicely just below the lining of the shoe or the sole. But yeah, is this a football stud? What is a football stud doing out here? Did Bronze Age people have football boots with studs in? No, I don't think they did. But anyway, there's that one, guys. I might find the rest of them, which means I might have an entire boot soon, so stay tuned for that one. Okay, so target number 4. Is it number 4? Or was it number 5? Oh well, the next target is a big old chunk of lead. Now this was a screaming target. I had to really see what it was, but it looks like it's just a scrap piece of lead. It's got no detail on it or anything like that. It actually looks relatively modern because it's still got that sort of leady finish to it that you generally get when it's brand new. But oh well, guys, there's that one. Still early days. Let's push on. Okay, guys, so the infamous Mr Tweed has shouted me over from the other end of the field, and this probably means he's got, I bet it's either a hammered or it could even be a Roman. If it's a Roman, Mr Tweed, I'm going to be chuffed. Here he is, let's see what he's got. Have you got a hammered?
I think I have.
Oh my days, you've got a little...
It is, I think I was looking at it on the way. I think it's a half groat because I can see 2 little dots there, but he's quite full full flange, awesome. So yeah, happy with that. It's not in the best condition. It looks like it's been, I don't know if you can see that, been bent into a love token, yeah, or it's just been trodden coincidentally into sort of a shape of an S. But yeah, that was literally 3 foot from the water trough up there. Oh, wow. I thought I'd get away from the grass and try and go where it's all, you know, sort of mushed up a little bit from all the cattle's hooves. So a little yeah. Elizabeth I half groat, do you think? Yeah, I think so, and I think I can see London written on there as well. I think they're all London, to be honest, aren't they? But Tower Mint, yeah. Happy with that. That's good. Not awesome. Even an hour in. I was going to say we've only been here for about 30 minutes. Yeah, or so, haven't we? It was a really sketchy signal. I almost left it because it was quite hard finding it because being so close to the trough. Yeah. I was just, every time I swung to the left, I was getting a signal from the trough, and I was thinking I'm just picking up a pipe or something. But yeah, it was a tiny, scratchy little signal about 7 inches down. And you get a coin that's like 500-600 years old. Yeah. Wicked. That's really cool, mate. Yeah, I love that. So I bet that's warmed you up a bit, isn't it? Yeah, that's made me a bit more positive about this field. Yeah. Not that I was negative. There's plenty in here on the historic maps, isn't there? So I wonder if you've found like a footpath or something. It's possible, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, looking on the Ties map, it looks like there was a field boundary around there, that sort of went off to a right angle and up towards there. There was also this hedge here was a track, by the looks of it. So yeah, I think possibly might have been an old footpath or an old field boundary that someone was walking around. Oh, wicked, mate! I've got to get something now to beat you. I'm sure you will. Yeah, it's early days yet. Okay, so I've had another target down here. It was an absolutely screaming target. You know, you were digging this one any day of the week. It was relatively deep, I'd say about 7 inches, maybe 8. And what's come out is this sort of disc type thing. I don't think this was a coin, but it's most certainly copper alloy. I think it had some type of patina at some point, but in terms of its actual use, I don't know. I did bend it out ever so slightly and dug out the mud from the inside because I wanted to see whether or not there was any detail on the other side, but I don't think there is. It just seems to be some sort of indiscriminate piece of copper alloy which has been bent almost perfectly in half, and yeah, that's that one. So I'll pop it in the bag. I might give it a clean up when I get home. Never know, there might be something on it, but not holding my hopes too high. And it is absolutely freezing today. I know I've said that already, but it seems like it's getting colder. Should have brought my my winter hat. Why I'm wearing a sun hat again, I don't know. I'm just an idiot. But anyway, guys, I'm going to be just digging like mad today to try and keep warm. Wish me luck. Let's keep going. Okay, guys. So here's something you don't find every day.
It is a 1981 50p piece. There's the late Queen Elizabeth II there on the back. Not a very old coin. Well, it's older than me, but yeah. There we go, a 50p. Let's keep on. So hopefully we get something a little bit older. Okay, so I've had another coin. Lots of coins in here today. This one appears to be possibly a halfpenny or a farthing. It's dated 1861. Now, I'm on this sort of little slopey bit here on the edge of the field, and it's not too far away from where I had that first coin, which was just up there. So the good thing about this coin, although it's very, very worn, you can just make out the 1861 date just on the bottom there below Britannia. And that's really good, because that means that potentially the other coin that I found up there is also going to be dated to the mid-19th century as well. So yeah, it's just a worn coin, it's not going to be worth anything, but actually it's just helped me identify some of the things that I found in the field today. And it obviously means that during that time there were a lot of people in here. So Sam's obviously had his little hammered. There's obviously been people in here for a few hundred years. There's got to be some more stuff in here. We're not going to know until we go looking, so let's keep trying. Okay guys, so just a quick pause in the metal detecting. Just after I found that coin, I had a quick look over this little fence here. And actually it slopes down really, really steep and goes into almost like a sort of valley. And if I listen really carefully, I can hear bubbling water running down there. So it's potentially like a small stream or a brook or something running down. And then I looked right over the fence and I could actually see just down in the very bottom, down where all these sort of trees are, it's quite a large man-made lake, which must be associated to one of the houses that's sort of just down over there. But that must be obviously being fed from the lake, which comes from up the top of the hill. So there must be a stream which connects the two. Now, what's quite interesting is that this little valley here, one side of it actually looks quite man-made, the other side looks relatively natural, and we're on the side of the what I believe to be a man-made side. So potentially, with the date of those coins around the sort of middle of the 1800s, it's very, very possible that this was all actually dug out specifically to allow drainage and also to fill up that lake which is down the bottom there. So I could be putting two and two together there, but I do like to have a little think about the landscape, and to me, you know, it really doesn't look right. On the other side, there's those sort of quintessential steps that you get into a normal field that's been sloped for years and years and years, and the weather's degraded it. On the side that we're on, it's lovely and smooth all the way down to the bottom. So, as I say, I could be putting two and two together there, guys, but chances are that around the 1800s, this place was a bit of a building site. Okay guys, so just had another target, a lovely little copper alloy target, quite a nice pinger, and I've actually found a little horse strap stud. Now it's very similar to the last horse strap stud I found on the video that I did a few fields over. Very similar sort of size, it's got a sort of dome look to it, and on the back you can see the short pins there where it would have been held into the strap itself. But potentially this is a couple of hundred years old. I wouldn't have said it was any older than that, and obviously at some point this would have been really, really shiny, possibly off a workhorse or something like that. So you've got to imagine, you know, a big old sort of workhorse coming in here with its straps, highly decorated, because it was a highly prized horse. And yeah, unfortunately at some stage, because these were never really fixed onto the strap that well, it just fell off, went into the ground, maybe it was being ploughed up, and it got lost, and a couple of hundred years later, Muggins here comes along and picks it up. So not much historical value to this one, but it's still a really, really cool find. Certainly dates to some of the other objects that I found in this field as well. Okay guys, would you look at that? Found another coin. It looks like a very similar age coin to the other ones that we've had, although this one is very, very worn. I can't make out too much on this one. Oh no, actually I can just make out 3 eyes. So 3 eyes would mean George III. Being that it's copper, so it wouldn't be William III, it would definitely be George III. So that would place this one into the sort of 1700s. So there we go, it's not a tremendously old coin, but it's certainly the oldest coin we've found so far. And being that it's on the opposite side of the field to where we found those sort of Victorian coins, then that might explain why it's a little bit older. But there we are guys, another coin. Let's push on, hopefully we get something else. Okay guys, so we've got a little change of tack. Me and Mr Tweed have had a bit of lunch, froze our complete asses off by the way having lunch, and we thought, do you know what, we're going to give the field next door a quick go. For two reasons really. Firstly, it was just so cold in that field up at the top there. The wind coming through, yeah, it was just so cold. I've got 4 layers on and it was just not even touching it. I was absolutely freezing. And the second reason was this field has obviously been ploughed and it's been left for the sheep to eat. So potentially, you know, there's going to be some good stuff in here, and potentially it's not going to be very deep either. So we've got about 3 hours or so left for this afternoon before it starts to get dark. We're going to absolutely crack on in this field guys, so wish us luck, and as soon as something comes out, you guys are going to see it. Okay, so had my first signal in this new ploughed up field, and it was quite a scratchy signal. I really wasn't too sure whether I was going to dig it or not, but I thought it's a new field, you know, you never know what's going to be in here, and obviously things do sound different depending on what type of field that you're in. But basically it's turned out to be what looks like an old button. It's quite an interesting one because it's still got part of the cloth attached to the button, so that's obviously part of the garment that it was attached to. And the main piece I have here with some of the writing on is actually the maker's mark of the button, and you can see where the shank was on the back there, which has been completely squashed down. So we might find a few buttons like this in this field, to be honest with you. It's quite known that farmers used to, many years ago, put sort of old shirts and clothes over the field to stop the birds from eating the seed, and a majority of them got left in the field or just turned in the field, rotted away, and what was generally left was buttons and things like that. So yeah, we might find a few buttons, but as I say, it's not the best find of all. We've got a few hours left, and let's keep going. Okay, so Mr Tweed has just come over. You've got quite a nice little coin there, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a guinea, but don't get too excited. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, you can see the shield on the front.
Yeah, so it's a spade guinea. I don't know if it's George III, but I need to clean it up a little bit. But obviously these should be gold. Either one of two things has happened here. This is either a fake, or it's a gaming token. So they used to make the gaming tokens, didn't they, out of a copper alloy, and they had, I think it was George III on, but they weren't the same year as George III, to make it obvious that they weren't real coins. You know, they're not legal tender, they were just gaming pieces. But I'm not sure, because this is gold plated, I'm not sure if this is perhaps an actual coin, you know, obviously a forgery, but an actual guinea of the period.
You can see where it was gold or gilded on the front really well.
Yeah, and it looks quite a short, stumpy spade. So I've got any water in this.
Can you imagine if that was a real gold one?
This smile on my face would be a lot bigger. That's for sure. But yeah, who knows? Once upon a time, this may have been a gold, obviously a forgery. But if you look, actually, now I've sprayed a little bit of water on it.
Oh, yeah.
It looks a little bit off. I don't know if it's just me, or does the spade look a little bit off centre, sort of down this way a bit? Possibly, yeah, potentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll compare it with the two I've got at home. So as I say, I've got two at home that have never been in the ground. Yeah. So they're pretty much pristine, and I'll compare them, and I'll send some photos.
That's still a really nice find. Well done, mate.
Yeah, no, it's different, isn't it?
For like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
As well. Wicked.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it's definitely beats finding tin foil and cow tubes. So.
Okay, so not too far away from where Sam came over with that lovely sort of token or fake guinea. I've just had a really nice target. It was super deep, this one, in this ploughed field. Although it's been ploughed, you can tell it's quite an old plough because the soil is very compact and it comes out in big clumps like this. So it's not actually too easy finding stuff, although it's really easy to swing, which is great. We always want that. This one has turned out to be like a small hinge. Possibly looks like a box hinge or something like that. I couldn't really tell you its age, but you can definitely see it was a hinge. So maybe Georgian, maybe Victorian, something like that. But I'm in no way a hinge expert, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's quite a cool little find. And I say we've only really been here sort of 15 minutes or so. So let's push on, see what else comes out. Okay, guys, it's the first one of the day for me. And it is a big old chunky musket ball. Really old one, this one. One of the proper, you know, quite big sort of round, heavy, proper musket shot. Not very often you find them, to be honest with you. You find the slightly smaller hunting shots and things like that, but yeah, this one is an unfired musket ball. So that's pretty cool. Where you find musket balls, usually you find some nice coins and hammered coins and things like that as well. So let's push on. Hopefully we might get something good. Okay guys, I thought I'd show you this one quickly. It's just come out of the ground. Looks like a possibly a Georgian, Victorian draw handle, something like that. You can see where it would have attached in there, and then obviously it would have lifted up, and then you could have pulled the draw out like that. So nothing great. It did look quite great when it was in the mud, but then when I pulled it out, gave it a clean, I saw it was just a draw handle. So that with the hinge, there's obviously some furniture being disposed of in this field, but what else is in here? Let's find out. Okay guys, so just had quite an interesting little find actually. Now, I'm pretty sure this is part of a spoon bowl, which, you know, doesn't sound that interesting, I must admit. However, it's quite an interesting one. It actually looks pretty old. I've never really come across a spoon bowl like this one before, and I'm a bit undecided as to what it's actually made of, because it actually looks like it's made of some type of pewter. It could even be silver. It's quite malleable, it's a bit bendy, but yeah, it definitely looks like it's got some age to it, this spoon bowl. It's a very intricate little design, it's very, very nicely made. Really, really nice. Hopefully somebody out there can help me put a date to that spoon bowl, because I would love to know what period that comes from, and hopefully I'll be able to find the rest of it as well, although I have checked the hole already and there's not anything left in the hole as such. But because it's been ploughed, that's obviously what's broken the spoon bowl, and there might be a few more fragments lying around. So yeah, wish me luck guys. I'm pretty chuffed with that, to be honest with you. Hopefully we're going to be able to date it, and hopefully there'll be some more. Okay guys, so just had quite an interesting little piece of copper alloy here. Now potentially this is going to be a decorative piece. My initial thought was that it was part of a spur, and they're the things that the riders used to have on the back of their boots when of course they were riding the horses, but I cleaned it up a little bit and I'm not really too sure, so I'm in two minds now as to whether or not this is just a piece of furniture decoration or potentially this is some kind of trigger guard, maybe off of a musket rifle or something like that. But that's as far as my guesses go at the moment, I'm afraid. But what an absolutely amazing signal it was, and if anybody out there can possibly help me identify that, that would be very much appreciative, because I would love to know exactly what we're finding in this field. I'm really impressed with this field so far. There's targets everywhere. I've seen Sam over on the other side there digging holes like a mole, so we'll have a catch up with him in a bit and see what he's found. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be worth coming back in here. And there's another field like this which is ploughed just on the other side of the hedge as well, so there's plenty here to do. But there we are guys, there's that one. Let's push on, see what else comes out. Okay guys, so as you can tell it's getting a little bit dark now. It's approaching 4 o'clock, which for British winter time is pretty much when the sun goes down. However, we're still persisting on. I've just had a target down here, and it wasn't the best target, but again I thought why not, we'll give it a go, try and dig it. And I kept on digging, and as you can see I dug a pretty deep hole. But I'm glad that I did, because what I initially thought was going to be a big piece of iron, maybe a bit of farm machinery or something like that, turned out to be one of the biggest pot legs I think I've ever found. It's an absolutely wonderful thing. I'm pretty sure this is a pot leg. It's as I say, it's got that really old feel to it. It's very likely that this is late medieval into the post-medieval, something like that. But what an absolutely wonderful piece of copper bronze, just poking through nice and deep in the ground. Just goes to show that there is stuff in this field, and if you persist you can actually find it. But some absolutely wonderful detail on that pot leg. Really chuffed with that. It's probably my find of the day, even though it's just a pot leg. But I'll take it back home, clean it up, stick it with his other pot leg friends, and that's where it will probably live for the time being. But there we are guys, let's crack on. Okay guys, so let's see what Mr Tweed has found today. I've seen some of your bits, but I have seen you digging quite a few holes over there, so have you had much?
Just been quite a lot of lead and bits that aren't that exciting, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's been a fairly fruitful day in, all in all. I've had that little Elizabeth I hammered, which we think is a love token, a little half groat.
Yeah, nice.
I've had that spade guinea.
I think that spade guinea's probably find of the day.
You don't see many of them, even if it's a token, do you?
Yeah. I mean the half groat's nice, but you find them, don't you? Mm. Whereas I don't think I've ever found one of those, fake or not. And yeah, I just like it. I think it's probably find of the day. Yeah,
I'd agree with that, and I can't wait to get him and clean it up gently and see if there's any detail on there left.
What's that ring type thing?
So that is, as you can see, it sort of gets fatter at each end, as if there was a bar that went down, so possibly some sort of buckle or strap of some sort. Then just a couple of pewter buttons. Unfortunately that one's been knackered by the plough a little bit, but you can see some quite nice detail on there.
Very nice.
And then this, whatever this is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there's any detail on that really, but
is it a copper alloy?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's, I mean it looks old with the patina, but that's going to be one of them things that I don't think we ever find out what it actually is.
No, as with most of the things we find, we don't really know what they are.
It is true.
But it's been a good day in here. I quite like this field. I was just saying we're probably going to need to come back in here, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely, especially when the turnips are this short.
Yeah. Before
he ploughs up again, I think there's going to be a lot to find in it.
Okay guys, so we're at the end of another day's metal detecting, and it's been a pretty good day, although very cold. As you can see, it's getting pretty dark now. It's about sort of 4 o'clock, something like that, and we've got to shoot off. But it's not been a pretty bad day. We've had some good finds. I think my find of the day was probably that big old pot leg. Really nice pot leg. It's got to be around the medieval period for sure. And Mr Tweed, of course, had that lovely spade guinea. Although it was fake, it's still a really nice find. They don't come up too often. And of course, he had the really nice little Elizabeth I hammered coin as well. So that leads me to say, if you have enjoyed the video today, then please consider hitting subscribe. And guys, if you've watched till the end and you've got this far, then you might as well hit subscribe, because of course there's going to be plenty more coming up for you to watch and enjoy. So again, if you do like the permission and you want to give me a thumbs up, that of course means a lot. And that leads me to say thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys on the next video.